One-foot-flipper.
Hi, Paige here, the 1 Foot Flipper. Today we're going to talk about selling those special hard to price items. Going to talk about mistakes. Going to go over a few of the things that sold since yesterday, because yesterday was a great day. Over $700 in sales just yesterday. First, we'll go over who won the Watchmen book. I used one of those little randomizers, and the winner is Ross Haman, at Ross Haman 350. Ross, get a hold of me. Message me on eBay, and I'll tell you some simple response to put back in the reply so I know it's you, because I don't know any other way for y'all to message me other than eBay right now. You can also find my Facebook page, which right now is still called Tiger of Happiness, but I've already put in for a changeover to change it over to my YouTube name, 1 Foot Flipper. So, everybody makes mistakes. When I came down to make this video, I forgot to bring my leg with me. Seems a little strange. I know most people don't leave body parts behind, but I did. I came down here on my butt like I was just going to do normal work because I don't normally work with my leg on. My artificial leg is really only good for two things, walking or standing. Anything I'm doing sitting down, it is just in the way and uncomfortable and makes everything more difficult to do. So I forgot to bring it with me. So I'm not standing back here. I'm sitting in a chair, so can't move back and forth as easily as I'd want to, but hopefully it'll work out. All right, first mistake I want to talk about is this ornament. I managed to sell this ornament, not be able to find it, and have to cancel the order, then later find it, sell it again, not be able to find it again, and have to cancel it a second time. And then it just showed up yesterday right on top of a tub that we looked in 3 or 4 times. And I have an inventory system. I don't do like Commonwealth Picker. I don't know how he can do it without an inventory system, but I've got one, and I still lost this thing twice. Let's hope that there won't be a third time on that. All right, let's see a couple of things that sold before we get to the bigger one. While you're waiting, we can watch the dog dance. That is Uo, the urine off dog. He is my mascot. Okay, I think I've showed you enough. My daughter calls that twerking, although she's 10 and she doesn't quite understand everything. Sold a Warhammer 40,000 jet bike in the box for $24.99. This came from a big buy, so it already paid for itself. This is 100% profit. Now, the funny thing is, this is from 1994, but they still make this same exact basic thing that is cheap. I think is cheaper than $24.99. So I think people are just paying for the vintage box, or maybe the fact that like 2 of the components are metal. The oldest Warhammer stuff is all metal, and then it started going to more and more plastic components over the years, and I think it's all plastic now. So the metal ones are the ones that people want, although that one does not have much metal. Let's see, I sold a war game, Battle of Salamanca, Wellington Turns the Tide. This one is not very good. It only sold for $9, but the buy it came from is already paid for. It's impossible to tell from just glancing at these war games which ones are valuable and which ones aren't. I think it's a combination of how good they are and how rare they are, even though most of the people who buy this stuff never play the games, because half of them you find are unpunched. They haven't taken the little cardboard pieces apart from each other or any of that. But yeah, at $9. Sold a 1978 Star Wars Land Speeder Kenner incomplete. This is a pseudo consignment item. I have a couple of people who bring me stuff. They hand me the stuff with no The idea is they're not getting a certain percentage or anything like that. I sell the stuff and I decide what to pay them when the item sells based on how much labor was involved and money and everything else. And I have a couple people who are very happy, who are totally happy with that. And this sold for $16.19, mostly based on the fact that it has a good windshield. The windshield is what breaks on this item most often, so I basically priced it for what the windshield price is for, and maybe I added $1 or $2 more because there's a body here as well. And it took about 6 months to sell, but it did sell. $16.19, and somebody will be getting a little payout for that. Sold some more Christmas ornaments. If you ever want to buy anything to support the channel, these balloon ornaments are the things to buy. You can write names on them, or you can have my wife write the names on them for you. I have at least 1,000 of these, so buy them. I sold 8 packs of XMen Cards. This was a collectible card game. These are booster packs. Use them to build your deck. The X-Men game is one of the hundreds and hundreds of dead collectible card games that never caught on and nobody plays today. These sold for $8.99. I had about a quarter each in them, if even that. Okay, next up is a card mat. I'm going to take this out of the box so you can see what I'm actually talking about. This is basically a giant mouse pad. People use these to play their Pokemon and Magic the Gathering cards on. People use them to do crafts on. And they also make good giant mouse pads. And I have hundreds of these in all different varieties. Do not buy these. They, as a whole, as a group, they are not good. They move extremely slow. They don't sell for a lot of money. I just purchased a very large quantity of them. I don't remember what I paid. It might have been $2 each, but honestly, for how slow they move, it has not been worth it. Do not buy these. Feel free to buy them from me, though. And that sold for $8.09 plus shipping. Often in these, I ship them. I put in the listing that they may or may not ship with original packaging, because sometimes these things have no original packaging, and oftentimes the original packaging is the difference between being at first class or priority. And I always ship these first class because that's the shipping rate I charge on them. ZZ Top Hombres. This is my favorite album I have sold recently, just because it is bright green. I rolled up in the wheelchair to the stack of 70 albums there, and I was able to pull it out in half a second. I saw the bright green on the edge and was able to immediately pull it out. That sold for $11.99. We're completely in the profit there because those records have all already paid for themselves. Now we're going to start talking about making money off weird unidentified items. I just sold to one of my regulars who buys war games. He bought 3 things today: Flames of War, Finnish Infantry, stickers for Team Yankee. Team Yankee's the war game of World War III. And he bought an unidentified mystery metal platoon. Now this isn't actually it. It's sitting upstairs on my desk, but the packaging's the same. It's in the same kind of generic packaging with no markings of anything. And it just had a bunch of metal dudes in there. So I listed it as mystery metal platoon. Normally those platoons sell for $40 to $50 when you know what they are. I didn't. I listed it at $19.99, and eventually he bought it. And I didn't have to spend 3 hours trying to figure out what it was. Win for both of us. Now we're going to talk about more of a big sale of unidentified things. My friend Ed, who passed away a few years ago, whose estate I bought, or at least I bought the gaming part of his estate, he loved games based on boats and ships. And he would lavish extra attention onto games that normally didn't have any extra attention. He would repaint the sets and do all sorts of things, make his own custom add-ons. And in this case, it was for the game British vs. Pirates. British vs. Pirates is a pretty basic game. It's not that expensive. There's a few add-ons to it, but he went above and beyond. He painted a bunch of the scenery. He made his own templates for it, stickers. He set up this case here where he did custom paint jobs on all the island pieces and everything, and made his own cheat sheets. And then there's other things. There's boats that he started painting, but he did not finish them. Cards and everything else, and that is what I call an impossible to price item. So usually when I get impossible to price items, what I do is I figure out what's the most anybody would ever pay for this. Oftentimes that's $100. Sometimes it's $50 if the item's smaller. In the case of this, the gaming case with the custom painted islands, I started it out at $200, and I had several other lots of Ed's things for the same game because it wasn't all together when I found it. It ended up in separate tubs. I found the stuff months or sometimes years apart from each other because it was all over the place. And yesterday, a buyer got in contact with me. He bought the $200 set, and he wanted to buy everything else I had left for this game. And so I got the big money for that without even, I never had to reduce the price. And this is for a game where the basic game itself only sells for like $30. And this set that Ed customized sold for $200. Okay, I think that is all the sales that I've got for today. I think before we finish up, I'll go over and show you my new video station and what I'm doing over there. Hi, I thought I'd take a minute to go over a little bit about photos and stocking items and what I'm doing about that now. Of course, my dog is trying to help in this process. She often does. She just brought me a tennis ball. Okay, we're gonna take photos of a board game here. This is Midlife Crisis. It's not a great board game, really, but it's what I've got out here right now. I like to set board games up so people can see all the pieces. Even if the games are incomplete, I still do it that way. This game actually is incomplete. It is missing the instructions. That doesn't always matter because a lot of times game collectors never plan on playing these games. They're just ticking off a checkbox. So if I'm a buck or two cheaper with no instructions, mine still might sell, and it might actually sell first. So I set it up kind of like this with all the pieces out. Then I'll take photos of each, I'll take a photo like this, bam, everything. Photo of the box, photo of the board, I'll close up on each thing of pieces, and so on. I like to set the box lid up on the left and then put the other tall things from left to right, since people read from left to right. Then after that, I will put the item on the scale. My scale normally sits right here. I forgot to bring it down. So we'll pretend that I brought the scale down with me. And bam, we took a picture of the scale. Then I put it into the tub. And as my last photo, I take a picture of which tub it is in. That way, when I go upstairs to actually list the item on eBay, I have the location right there in the photos. Thank you so much for subscribing. Be sure and hit that like button. I'll have another contest soon, and talk to you later.